first question was find the domain. ये आया क्या किसी को? Could you do this one? Which option is correct? Very good, very good, very good. So I have different answers from all of you. So let us do it together. ठीक है, सबसे पहले उन्होंने क्या बोला है? So you have one. The question says it is 1 divided by x square minus 2x raised to power 1 by 2. So if it's x square minus 2x divided by 1 by 2, so then there are two rules that are getting in picture. One is denominator not being 0, and the second is whatever is under the root is greater than or equal to 0. Right? So because raised to power half का क्या मतलब होता है? It is under the root. So if it is under the root, it becomes 1 divided by root of x square minus 2x. Under the root of x square minus 2x. Fair. Now, whatever is inside the root should be greater than or equal to 0. हम equal to 0 वाला condition निकाल देते हैं because under root 0 होगा तो answer 0 होगा, denominator 0 हो नहीं सकता. So let us just assume that whatever is inside the root is greater than 0, not greater than or equal to. Do you understand this bit? Yeah, give me a thumbs up if you understand this bit. कि by just taking that whatever is inside the root is greater than 0, we are eliminating both the conditions. Denominator वाला भी और ये वाला भी. So let us evaluate accordingly. ठीक है, we have x square minus 2x greater than 0. ठीक है, for that it is x into x minus 2 greater than 0. Right? Right? We can settle on this. What did we do? We took out x bahar and then this became x minus 2. Right? Now, yesterday I taught you how to solve this. The way to solve it was, this is x minus 0, right? So you plot 0, है ना? हमने ये solve किया था, तो you plot 0 and you plot 2. Minus 2 के लिए you plot 2 on the graph. Again, I'll teach this you much more in detail in inequality again. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, I'll teach you about this in inequality again. But right now, just understand this trick. इसका conceptual clarity I'll give furthermore. Okay, but the trick here is to understand that हमें ये greater than 0 चाहिए. कैसे होगा greater than 0? We plot 0 and we plot 2. And what do? We start from here and we draw a curve that changes its direction at every nodal point. Right? The zone above this, it is going to be positive, and the zone below, your inequality is going to be negative. Do we understand this bit? Thumbs ups again so that I have clarity. Yes. Yes. Very good. So considering this, what's going to happen is we have to find out when is this going to be greater than 0. So greater than 0, we have to take the bits that are above the line. And below the line, it's negative, right? So above the line हमें देखना है. Above the line कहाँ पे? 2 से बड़ा हो तब है and 0 से छोटा हो तब है. Right? So your answer is your x belongs from minus infinity to 0. Right? From minus infinity, it is coming towards 0 for positive, and from 2, it is going to positive infinity. Union 2 to positive infinity. Is this in the option? Is this in the option? No. It is nowhere in the option. So then what is the next rule? The next way to write this down is x belongs to set of all real numbers from minus infinity to plus infinity, all numbers except these numbers. So minus 0 to 2 ka bracket. And that is given. So B is the right answer. Who ended up giving me right answer? I'm just checking. I think Amrita did. Very good. ठीक है? अब इसमें clarity आई है. See, it is possible that you are not able to solve this inequality, which is still okay because you're yet to learn inequality. As I told you, algebra is a mix of a lot of things put all together, right? And our major focus is to understand the domain of function first. And how do you find domain? By applying some basic concepts of your mathematics. Ki basic rules shouldn't be violated. What are those 3 rules? One, that your denominator cannot be 0. Second, whatever is inside the under root is greater than or equal to 0. And third one, logarithm related rules. So this condition, putting this condition is more important. And if you could get till here, then I'm fine and okay. Right? And in no time, you'll be able to solve inequalities also. The moment we jump to that chapter, the next chapter after this is going to be inequality only. Okay? So can we move ahead? Can we move ahead here? If anybody has any doubts, you're going to stop me and ask me then and there. I do not want any confusions in today's class because algebra is going to get more and more complicated from here on. And अगर हमारा base का ही understanding weak रह गया तो फिर हम आगे का क्या पढ़े, right? That is why these classes are deliberately I'm going to take slow, and I would want affirmations from all of you again and again. ठीक है? Now second question. What was it? Which of the following is an even function? How do you find even function? What was the condition that we learned yesterday? That if f of x, like if f of minus x and f of x are equal, then we will say it is an even function, right? So how do you find that? Simply by putting some value of x. Let's say you take x as 1 and you take x as minus 1 also. Or you take x as 2 and you take x as minus 2 also. If you end up getting same answer, if you end up getting same answer for both these values of x or both these values of x, then we can clearly say that it is an even function, right? Let us start putting it one thing at a time. If you put it in a, you get x raised to 12. X equals to 2 and minus 2 lete, 2 raised to 12 or minus 2 raised to 12 is equal, right? Because it's an even power. The minus even times तो positive ही हो जाएगा, so these two are equal. So definitely this is an even function, right? Or let's just take one for that matter. If you are comfortable with one more, 1 raised to 12 or minus 1 raised to 12, both are 1 only, right? That is why it is an even function, right? It is equal. Now next what we move ahead is we understand this. So b में क्या होता है? x minus 3 square लेना है. तो x minus 3 x को 1 ले लेते हैं. 1 minus 3 या 2 ले लेते हैं. चलो 2 minus 3 है या -2 -3 है, राइट? x की वैल्यू हमें 2 लेनी है, -2 लेनी है. तो यहाँ पे क्या बन जाता है वो? This becomes -1 square and this becomes -5 square. Are these values same? Are these values same? Yes or no? Tell me on chat. No, they are not same. So is this an even function? No, it is not, because we need f of minus x and f of x as equal, right? Same goes for plus also. Here also, if you end up solving, you'll realize that this is, if you take x as 1, so 1 plus 3 raised to 4 or minus 1 plus 3 raised to 4. Not equal clearly, right? So not even that. More than 1 above, not that. So just x raised to 12 is your answer. Right? I read a comment, somebody ended up saying that D was the correct answer. Why? Because you ended up noticing just the powers. You saw that the powers are even, 12, 2, 4, and that is why it is even. It doesn't work like that, right? उसके अंदर का भी function देखो ना, x minus 3, x plus 4, x plus 3 कर दिया उन्होंने. So the value itself changes, right? Clarity on this as well. Now next question is for you to find which of the following is an odd function, right? ये किस कौन कर पाया? This was a homework, right? ये homework था. कौन कर पाया इसको? What's the answer? Fair. You have to find odd function now. How do you find odd function? Similarly, which is not an odd function. Yes, yes, very good. यहाँ पे हर जगह again odd function कब होता है? When f of minus x and f of x are basically negative of each other. So you end up getting same value but opposite in sign, right? So for this also, 1 raised to 77 and minus 1 raised to 77. इसका आंसर 1 आएगा, इसका आंसर -1 आएगा. Same values, opposite in sign. So this is odd. Similarly, this is odd. Similarly, this is odd. Only this one is not odd. So that's why A is your answer, which is not an odd function. A is not an odd function. Okay, good. I'm very happy that all of you are getting right answers. And in fact, last class के बाद Rene ended up telling you confused हो गई थी. But it's good. I hope you watched the videos again and you learned again. Very, very good. I really appreciate it. And आज हम और interesting चीजें सीखने वाले हैं functions के बारे में. So I am pretty much excited to teach you. Okay. Next, find the inverse of a function. Inverse निकालना है. कैसे निकालना है inverse? क्या है इसका answer? We will end up taking 1 upon x minus 1 as y, and we have to find the value of x. How do you find the value of x? You interchange. X minus 1 will be 1 by y, right? And then x will be 1 by y plus 1, right? 1 by y plus 1, which is 1 plus y by y. You have to just replace y by x here. So what's the answer? The answer is 1 plus x by x. Y को हमने बस x से replace किया, which is option D. You all are right. Good. Now we have fifth question. Fifth question is you have to find reflexive function. I think ये किस किसको आया कि यहाँ पे stuck हो गए? ये किस किसको आया कि stuck हो गए? बताओ. Stuck. Didn't get this. Problem यही है ना कि थोड़ा सा curve ball डाला हमें और हम बोलते भाई हमें नहीं आता, हमें याद है. It's like ऐसे नहीं करना है. See, I didn't teach you reflexive function in class yesterday. I agree, because this is not a category of questions that come. But if you notice the question itself, they have clarified what a reflexive function is. उन्होंने तुमको समझा दिया है already. What are they saying? They are saying a function a equals to theta b. Theta क्या है? It's just a symbol. Are we going to get confused by theta? No. We know that a is equal to f of b कह रहा है वो. उन्होंने बस f को theta से दे दिया. क्यों? क्योंकि भाई tough question नहीं है tough. ठीक है? They are saying a is equal to f of b, function of b. It is said to be reflexive when b is also function of a. Whole point is the function is defined in such a way. The function is defined in such a way, like for example, if f of 1 is 10, then f of 10 is going to be 1, as an example, right? Or let's say if f of 2 is 3, then f of 3 is also 2. So it is reflexive. This is what? No. Inverse and inverse is different. Okay? But it's on the same lines. You had to find, okay. So you had to find inverse of a function क्या होता है? It's like this, ना? Speed is equal to distance upon time. This is a function, let's say. देखो. I'll tell you reflexive और इसमें difference क्या है. ध्यान दो. So let's say you were given that f of x is equal to 2x plus 3. ठीक है, ठीक है. Somebody asked me a doubt. He is a reflexive function and inverse of a function the same. So let's say you are given this function 2x plus 3. तो इसको हमने y लिया, करेक्ट. तो हमने बोला x is equal to y minus 3 by 2, राइट. सो इनवर्स फंक्शन क्या हो गया, f इनवर्स फंक्शन क्या हो गया, x minus 3 by 2 हो गया, करेक्ट. तो आर दीज टू फंक्शन सेम? Are these two functions same? F of x was defined as 2x plus 3 and inverse is defined as x minus 3 by 2. Are these functions same? Tell me, Amrita, yes or no? No, right? These are not the same. So inverse of function is very different. Okay? Okay? This is not inverse. Okay? Reflexive is separate. Reflexive is the same function. ये सेम फंक्शन है 2x plus 3. इसमें लेट्स से हमने 1 डाला तो आंसर जो आ रहा है, लेट्स से 1 डालने के बाद आंसर 5 आ रहा है, तो 5 डालने के बाद भी अगर आंसर 1 आया, so then I'll call it reflexive. The same function. It has nothing to do with the inverse of the function. Okay? So this is what a reflexive function will be. So let us solve it. We have to find that which of these are reflexive functions. How do you find it? I'll tell you how. Okay. Let's say in first we say a is equal to 3b plus 5 upon 4b minus 3. Okay. Now let us start finding the value of b. हमने a लिख लिया. A is a function of b. A is equal to some function of b. Now let us find b. ठीक है. इसी को सिंप्लीफाई करना है हमें. इसी को सिंप्लीफाई करते करते हमें b की वैल्यू निकालनी है. कैसे करेंगे हम? क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे. A into 4b minus 3 is equal to 3b plus 5, right? So then this becomes 4ab minus 3a is equal to 3b plus 5, right? अभी we have to start finding value of b. तो b वाले terms हम equal एक side लेके आएंगे, minus 3b. I just shifted that 3b there, ठीक है? And I'll just bring this 3a this side. So this becomes 5 plus 3a, right? Now b common leke, this will be 4a minus 3 is equal to 3a plus 5, right? So b is equal to 3a plus 5 minus, is it the same? Tell me. Are these two the same? Batao. A was 3b plus 5 upon 4b minus 3. If I replace a and b, do we get the same answer? We do, right? Arey, we do na? देखो 3b 3a plus 5 plus 5 4b 4a minus 3 minus 3 सेम ही तो आया, सिर्फ a और b एक दूसरे से रिप्लेस हो गए, हुए नहीं हुए? Yes, yes. Do we understand? Do all of us understand? So this is what reflexive function is. So is 1 a reflexive function? Yes, it is. Now you will have to solve similarly for 2. You will have to solve similarly for 3 and then tell me if they are reflexive function or not. ठीक है? And accordingly you will mark out of A, B, C and D what is the right answer. ठीक है? अगर तुम्हें ये A, B, C, D इतना सारा algebra confusing हो रहा है, so there's always a way to do it. Whenever you see too many letters in a question, you can always replace it with numbers. You will say कि okay भाई, एक काम करती हूँ, let me assume that B is 1. Let me assume that B is 1. If B is 1, then my first, this thing is equal to 3 into 1 plus 5 divided by 4 into 1 minus 3. इसका आंसर क्या आता है? 8 by 1, right? Which is 8. है ना? The moment I put B as 1, I am getting answer as 8. 8 is what? Your A, right? A was the function of B, right? अब मैं क्या करूंगी? अब मैं, तो जब B डाला तब 8 आया, जब 1 डाला तब 8 आया, अब मैं 8 डालूंगी तो 1 आना चाहिए आंसर, right? So let me put 8 inside this thing. ठीक है? So 3 into 8 plus 5 divided by 4 into 8 minus 3, which is how much? Which is how much? Tell me. 29 by 29? Yes or no? Which is 1? So आया ना, 8 डालो तो आंसर 1 आता है, 1 डालो तो आंसर 8 आता है. Is it reflexive? Yes. So you can do it using digits also. Do you understand both the approaches? Yes, yes. I have yeses from everyone. So accordingly, you will have to basically solve. Okay? So you will take this at home and solve it, right? चलो next करते हैं. C answer भी आ गया, very good. Now, a very important question, a fundamental question to understanding of functions for all of you. बताओ, इसमें क्या आंसर आएगा तुम्हारा? क्या आंसर आएगा इसमें? Okay. Somebody saying 3. If you were stuck, if you did not solve, okay. Somebody saying 2. 3. Okay. Let us see. You are supposed to find which of the following two functions are identical. Identical functions कब होते हैं? जब उनका range और domain same. If their domain and range is same, then we will say that it is essentially the same function, right? Let's say I end up defining that f of x is equal to x for all real numbers, or I define second function g of x is equal to x, okay, only for positive integers. Even these two functions won't be identical, even though x ही है दोनों. क्यों? क्योंकि this is defined over all real numbers, negative, positive, zero, while this is defined only over positive. So we don't call them identical. Similarly, when you look at this question, what will you realize? You'll realize A says f of x is equal to x square by x. तो हमको लगता है technically x कट हो जाएगा, तो f of x equals to x ही बोल रहा है वो, right? Then second चीज जब हमको आएगा B बोलता है g of x is equal to root of x का स्क्वायर. तो रूट का स्क्वायर किया मतलब दिस इज ऑल्सो x, ठीक है. थर्ड हम बोल रहे हैं C में h of x is equal to x, which is also x only. So at that all the functions are x, and we will say all are identical. All are identical, सब x ही है, right? But if you look at the rules that we have learned, ठीक है, यहाँ पे डोमेन क्या होगा? x cannot be zero. All real numbers except zero, है ना? It can be negative, it can be positive, but it can't be zero. Why? Because denominator can be zero and x is in the denominator. So इसका domain क्या आएगा? What is the domain for this function? The domain for this function is x belongs to the set of real numbers except zero. Zero नहीं हो सकता. इसका डोमेन क्या होगा? इसका डोमेन रूट के अंदर x है. रूट के अंदर x है मतलब x will have to be positive. So x will be greater than or equal to zero. तो negative आएगा ही नहीं. और यहाँ पे तो x could be, it is just x, so it could be anything. So are the domains same? Domains are not same. So are any of these functions identical? No, none of these are. Okay. So I hope this clarifies your understanding about functions a little more. You need your domain as well as range to be same. Okay. चलो 3-4 more questions to go. Quickly करते हैं. यहाँ पे क्या करना था? You have to find the intersection points. What is an intersection point? Intersection point will be the ऐसे points जहाँ पे इसका x, y और इसका x, y same होगा. कैसे निकालोगे? By equating both the graphs. ठीक है? You'll be like, okay, I want to find intersection. Intersection means these both will be equal. So then you have to find कि at what points will they be equal. दो तरीके हैं. एक तरीका है इसको solve करो. दूसरा तरीका है ये values डाल के देखो. Anything is okay. Anything is okay. And now you might end up solving it. So this becomes 2x square plus 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. So इसके roots क्या आता है? Plus 4x minus x minus 2 is equal to 0. So 2x into x minus 2 minus 1 into x plus 2 है, sorry. So this is 2x minus 1 into x plus 2 is equal to 0. तो x की वैल्यू 1/2 और x की वैल्यू -2. So 1/2 -2 जहाँ पे आएगा वहां पे ये इंटरसेक्ट करेगा, है ना? क्या क्या आंसर्स आए? Answers were popping. B, everybody is answering B, right? So either you do that, or what you do, you'll be like, okay, this is my function. Let me put in the value of x as 2. If I put 2, my answer should become -1/2 in the first place. This is easier to put in, so I'll put it here first. So 1 minus 3x, 1 minus 6 is not -1/2. So definitely it is not an answer. This first answer is not satisfying the equation only. पहला function ही नहीं satisfy कर रहा है. Intersection point तो दूर की बात. ऐसे कर करके then you'll be like, okay, let me try this. If I try C, and if I put C in this, g of x is equal to 1 minus 3x. C के हिसाब से x की वैल्यू 1 है, तो g of 1 is 1 minus 3 into 1, which is 1 minus 3, which is -2. Is the answer -2? No, the answer is 2. So this itself is not satisfying. ऐसे करके तुम्हें मिलेगा, this is the answer. So there are two approaches again. Algebra always has two approaches. One is that you do methodically, other is you do जुगाड़. Right? चलो, good. 8th question. What does it say? इसका आंसर क्या है? Composite function का question है ये. ये तो आ गया होगा सबको. Okay. Okay. Others, I'm looking at the chat. Again, अलग-अलग answers. Let us do it again. हमको कैसे करना है? F of G of H of 2. Right? You are supposed to find this out. कैसे करेंगे हम? What is H of 2? H of x is x square. So H of 2 will be 2 square. Right? If H of x is x square, H of 2 will be 2 square. 2 square is how much? 4. This is f of G of 4. Right? Now G of 4. What is G of x? 1 by 1 divided by 1 minus x. So this will be 1 divided by 1 minus 4, which is 1 by minus 3, which is minus 1 by 3, right? So then you have to find f of minus 1 by 3. Now f of x is 1 by x. So f of this will be 1 divided by this, which is basically minus 3. So minus 3 will be your answer, which is none of the above. Okay, chalo, good, very good, proud of you, all of you all. ये सेम कॉम्पोजिट फंक्शन का क्वेश्चन है, ट्राई करो, कर लिया होगा तो आंसर बताओ. Fair, fair, good, good, good. So how do we solve it? First of all, we find psi of minus 7. How do we find psi of minus 7? It's minus 7. X के जगह हमें minus 7 डालना है. Minus 7 plus 3 divided by 2, which is minus 4 divided by 2, which is minus 2. और हमें theta of this minus 2 निकालना पड़ेगा फिर, right? इसका आंसर minus 2 आया ना, तो theta of minus 2. What is theta? Theta is 3x square plus 2, which is 3 into x square plus 2, which is 3 into 4 plus 2, which is 14. So 14 is your answer. Very good. Now last question from the practice, yesterday's practice. ये आया क्या? I gave this question deliberately because it sets context to what we are going to study today. ठीक है? हल्का हल्का सा context. So here we see that your function f of x is defined as sum of two other functions. दो अलग numbers का function. उसी से solve करना है हमें. Right? हम कैसे solve करेंगे? हमें पता है, see, they have given your function of any number is उसके पहले वाला है number का function plus उसके और पहले वाले number का function. Right? मतलब अगर मुझे f of 3 निकालना है, function of 3, there will be 3 minus 1, 2 plus 1. ऐसे हो जाएगा. और मुझे function of 1 और function of 2 की वैल्यू दे दी है 2n, इसकी वैल्यू 3 है, इसकी वैल्यू 2 है, तो ये हो गया 5. सो f of 3 कितना हो गया? 5. अब मुझे वैसे f of 6 निकालना है ना, तो मैं f of 4 निकालूंगी. 4 कैसे आएगा? Will be f of 3 plus f of 2 according to the definition that is given to you, which is 5 plus 3, which is 8, right? Then f of 5 is f of 4 plus, right? 4 कितना है? Just divided. 4 कितना था? 8 और 3 कितना था? 5. तो ये हो गया 13. And now then lastly it's f of 6. F of 6 is f of 5 13 plus f of 4 8, which is 21. 21 is your answer. Do we have clarity on this? Give me thumbs ups so that I have approval from all of you all to move to the next bit of learning function study. No doubts here? Okay. Somebody is asking me to explain again, so I'll explain again. So the thing is, here they have defined how your function will be defined, right? कि अगर तुम्हें f of 3 निकालना है, for example, x की value 3 हो गई, so that will be 3 minus 1, that is 2. So function of 2 and 3 minus 2 is 1. Function of 1 का addition होगा. और उन्होंने देके रखा है कि function of 2 का value 3 है और function of 1 का value 2 है. So then your f of 3 is going to be the addition of 3 and 2, that is 5. Do you understand this much? Yes. So then accordingly, अगर मुझे function of 4 निकालना है, तो x की value 4 हो गई, that will be addition of 4 minus 1, that is 3, and 4 minus 2, that is 2. तो f3 and f2. f3 की वैल्यू हमने अभी निकाली थी 5 है, तो 5, और f2 की वैल्यू दी हुई है 3, तो ये आ गया 8. ये समझ गया? तो ऐसे ही f5 और f6 की वैल्यू निकाल सकते हैं. Yes? Yes? तो ऐसे ही सॉल्व किया है. Alright? Okay, cool then. Let us pause here and let us move to learning the more advanced bit of functions. ठीक है? Let us understand, let us take a function. Let's say f of x is equal to x. ऐसा function है हमारा. f of x equals to x का मतलब क्या है? f of x मतलब y. y is equal to x का function है हमारा. ठीक है? y is equal to x के function को कैसे हम draw करते हैं? When x is 1, y is 1. When x is 2, y is 2. When x is 3, y is 3. When x is 0, y is 0. When x is minus 1, this is also minus 1. Any doubts here? No, right? We are clear. है ना? No. So let us plot a graph. ठीक है? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 here. I love teaching this because there are a lot of colors involved. Because I'll draw multiple graphs on one single scale. And the thing is, fun fact, I'll tell you, when I was at IMA, we used to have this marketing professor, Professor Arvind Sai. And he was my favorite prof because marketing was my favorite this thing. ठीक है, मैंने marketing और entrepreneurship के दो courses करे and electives मैंने बहुत सारे education field. So at IMA we have this RJ Mathai Center of Education जो education के courses चलाते हैं, which teaches you pedagogy, which teaches you how learners learn, etc. So I've taken all those courses also because I always wanted to teach, right? But anyways, so Professor teaches marketing. It was very interesting, very experienced. मतलब Professor ऐसे थे ना कि so what happens is whenever they sign any email, whenever anybody signs an email, like I sign an email, it's Samanti Dhore or Samanti whatever, founder CATsetgo, right? But the professors at IMA have like list of things, multiple PhDs, and then they are also like signatories or some positions, some advisors at some government का कोई कहीं पे consultant है, कुछ ना कुछ है ही उनका, right? A lot of things they want to write. And Professor had many more things to write. It was like a long list of things. So हमेशा उनका मेल आता था. तो मेल कुछ सिंगल लाइन का है या दो लाइन या तीन लाइन, right? As a professor, you will just inform something. Let's say today's class is cancelled, or we are going to, there is going to be surprise quiz today at 1:15. One single line, right? 2-3 lines at max. And उसके नीचे उनका 12-15-16 लाइन का वो आ रहा है, प्रोफेसर this जो भी उनका लंबा सा आता था. और एक बार I just had some whatever doubt or whatever, and I ended up messaging, like emailing him, and उनका आंसर आया था okay. It was just okay and a list of things. तो उसका मीम बन गया था. हमारे बैच में लोग मीम बहुत बनाते थे. तो yeah, he was a very like dear professor. I loved him a lot and almost had a crush kind of situation. ठीक है. तो उनको ना आदत थी, he would use a rainbow pen to teach us. और मैं बहुत खुश होती थी रेनबो पेन देख के बिकॉज आई जस्ट लव कलर्स. तो मुझे उनकी याद आ गई अभी अचानक कि आई एम गोइंग टू हैप्पी टुडे बिकॉज वी आर गोइंग टू यूज लॉट ऑफ कलर्स. तो उससे मुझे याद आया कि मुझे मेरे सारे क्लासमेट्स चिढ़ाते थे फिर जैसे ही कलर्स आएगी, सामंती का शक्ल लेते थे सब, ये खुश हो जाएगी. ठीक है. Anyways, so how are we going to plot this? Back to this, how are we going to plot it? We are going to be like 1 and 1 is plotted, 2 and 2 is plotted. When x is 3, y is 3. When is 4, right? -1 is minus 2 is -2, so on, right? So we end up getting a straight line, right? This is our base graph. This is a graph for y is equal to x, right? Now we are learning how to shift graphs. How are graphs shifted? So what do I mean by that? What do I mean by shifting? What I mean here is that let's say I end up giving you this as f of x now, or I give you a new function g of x, which is x plus 3. It is x plus 3. So my graph is shifted by plus 3 now. What do you mean by my graph is shifted by plus 3? इसका मतलब अगर मैं इसका प्लॉट करूं, मेरा ग्राफ बन जाएगा y is equal to x plus 3, राइट? मेरा ग्राफ बन जाएगा y is equal to x plus 3. So how will I plot it now? अगर मुझे इसका ग्राफ बनाना है तो ये ऐसे बनेगा. यहाँ पे y की वैल्यू क्या आएगी? What will be the y's value here? Definitely अगर x1 है तो y will be 1 plus 3 4. अगर x2 है तो y will be 2 plus 3 5. x अगर 3 है तो it is going to 3 plus 3 6. 0 तो 0 के लिए 0 plus ये 3 आ गया. -1 plus 3 2 आ गया. So these are the values, right? No confusion still here, right? तो अगर मुझे इसका ग्राफ ड्रॉ करना है, कैसे ड्रॉ होगा? जब x1 है तब y is 4. तो चलो let me draw. When x is 1, my y is 4. When x is 2, my y is 5. When x is 3, my y is 6. Right? Right? उसके बाद when my x is 0, this is 0 here, my y is 3. So x is 0, my y is 3. When my x is -1, my y is 2. So if you draw this line, you will realize that there is a line exactly parallel to the earlier line, right? जो मेरी ये line थी y is equal to x वाली, उसके just 3 points ऊपर +3 हुआ है. At every point it has been +3. At every point it is +3. देखो 1 का 1 आया था और यहाँ पे 4 आया, again +3, right? यहाँ पे भी -1 पे x -1 पे -1 आया था, अभी 2 आया है, again +3. So the entire graph is shifted by +3. Similarly, if I end up getting the next graph, which is h of x, is x -3. Can you predict what will happen now? Can you predict what will happen now? What will happen? Tell me on the chat, what will happen now? The graph will end up shifting it will shift negative on the y-axis. So it will shift exactly 3 points नीचे. So जहां पे 0 था वहां पे वो -3 आएगा, right? And यहाँ पे 3 पे वो 0 आएगा, है ना? यहाँ पे देखो it ended up, यहाँ पे देखो it went 3 this way, अभी it will come 3 this way. So this is going to be my graph. Correct? So जैसे ही मैंने x+3 किया तो ग्राफ y एक्सिस पे ऊपर भी गया, यहाँ पे नीचे भी आया और लेफ्ट और राइट भी शिफ्ट हुआ, जैसे भी तुम उसको बोलना चाहो. ठीक है, दिस इज व्हाट शिफ्टिंग ऑफ ग्राफ्स इज. एनी कंफ्यूजन हियर? एनी कंफ्यूजन हियर? हो? करेक्ट. So this is what shifting of graphs is. ठीक है. So let us just quickly have a recap on the graphs that we learned earlier. ठीक है. And see where we go with them. ठीक है. Just a second. Today I'll teach you some tricks जिससे तुम ग्राफ याद रख सकते हो. So basically, primarily, we will do shifting of one graph at the same time. पर उससे पहले let us just remember हमने कौन से ग्राफ सीखे थे. एक था लीनियर. ठीक है. लीनियर बेसिकली इज अ लाइन, राइट? तो तुम इसको याद रख सकते हो कि बेसिकली इट फॉर्म्स अ लाइन, है ना? देन सेकेंड you had quadratic, right? We learned quadratic. Quadratic mein people remember the u, right? And that is why the graph is a u, right? Then parabola, as I told you, right? Third thing is it can be logarithms. उसमें you remember the r. r ऐसे लिखते हैं ना, ऐसा r लिखते हैं ना, तो this is the logarithms का graph. Log x. Okay? Then I think next क्या कौन सा ग्राफ सीखा था हमने? What is the next graph we learned? Exponential, right? So exponential graph. ठीक है. Exponential का you have to remember the e only, है ना? This is how e is written. तो e का ऐसा कर्व है. The exponential also similar curve. Fair? And then I think we had learned the absolute function, or we call it the modulus function. Remember mod? मैंने सिखाया था mod. तो उसका is basically a v. There is no trick to remember it. It is just a v. ठीक है. So these are some functions that we remember. And then lastly we had learned the step function, greatest integer function. याद है बॉक्स में हम लिखते थे. तो ये स्टेप है, ऐसे ही इसको याद रखो कि it forms steps, right? So these are the functions that we learned. हम इनमें से कुछ चीज का हमने लीनियर फंक्शन का शिफ्टिंग तो देख लिया. You saw how I shifted linear function, right? अब ऐसा शिफ्टिंग ऑफ फंक्शन के बाद let us shift the modulus function. ठीक है. Let us shift the modulus function. Modulus function कैसे शिफ्ट होगा? Let us have a look at it. ठीक है. ओरिजिनल फंक्शन क्या है तुम्हारा? f of x equals to mod x. Do you remember? कैसा था वो? V शेप का था. 0 1 2 3 -1 -2 -3 1 2 3 -1 -2 -3. फिर इसमें क्या था? जब ये 0 है तो 0 है, 1 पे 1 है, 2 पे 2 है, 3 पे 3 है, राइट? -1 पे जब x -1 है तो भी आंसर 1 ही है. -2 पे भी 2 है, 3 पे भी 3 है. ऐसे करके ये v फॉर्म हो रहा था. फिर नो कंफ्यूजन हियर, राइट? इधर तक सही है. अब लेट अस फॉर्म अ फंक्शन फॉर f of x is equal to mod x plus 3. mod x plus 3. ठीक है. mod x plus 3 करते हैं. कैसे होगा बताओ? अगर x की वैल्यू 1 है तो आंसर आएगा 1 + 3 4, राइट? ग्रीन कलर में मार्क करते हैं, राइट? लाइक लेट्स से x की वैल्यू 0 है. x की वैल्यू अगर 0 है तो 0 + 3 आएगा, है ना? x की वैल्यू 0 है तो y की वैल्यू आएगी 3. यस. x की वैल्यू 1 है तो 1 + 3 4. अगेन 2 पे 1 + 3, यहाँ पे आएगा 1 + 4, 2 + 5, और ये ऐसे ही -1 पे आएगा अगेन 4, अगेन 5. सो अगेन +3 करने के बाद बराबर ग्राफ आया गया ऊपर. ये हमने पहले भी देखा हुआ है, राइट? एंड वैसे ही अगर मैं x -3 करती, mod x -3, तो शिफ्टिंग कहाँ होता? नीचे, है ना? यहाँ पे जैसे +3 से ऊपर गया, यहाँ पे -3 से नीचे आता. करेक्ट करेक्ट, यस और नो, यस और नो, कोई रॉकेट साइंस नहीं है इसमें, ग्राफ ऐसे ही शिफ्ट हो रहा है ना। अब लेट से मैं मॉड के अंदर प्लस थ्री माइनस थ्री कर देती हूँ, फिर क्या होगा देखते हैं। मैं मॉड के अंदर प्लस थ्री माइनस थ्री कर देती हूँ, एफ ऑफ एक्स इक्वल्स टू मॉड ऑफ एक्स प्लस थ्री कर दिया मैंने, राइट, मॉड ऑफ एक्स प्लस थ्री कर दिया। तो यहाँ पे इसको ब्लू से मार्क करते हैं, ये कैसे होगा, करो तो वैल्यूज फाइंड आउट करो और मुझे बताओ कि व्हेन x इज 0 व्हाट विल बी माय y, व्हेन x इज 0 व्हाट इज माय y, ठीक है। तो व्हेन इट इज 3, ओके अग्रीड। व्हेन x इज 1, व्हेन x इज 1 व्हाट इट बिकम्स 1 प्लस 3 4, राइट। व्हेन x इज 1 तो इट इज 1 प्लस 3 4, तो इट विल बी 4, ठीक है। व्हेन x इज 1 इट इज 4, सेम सेम जा रहा है ग्राफ। अब व्हेन इट इज 2 2 प्लस 3 5, अगेन सेम सेम जा रहा है ग्राफ, ठीक है, इधर तक तो हम सेम है। अब व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन इट इज -1, what happens when it is -1, tell me that। यहाँ पे let us put x as -1, if we put x as -1 what happens, this becomes -1 plus 3 which is 2, mod of 2 is 2, so when x is -1 it becomes 2। वैसे ही when x is -2 let's say, so this becomes -2 plus 3 is 1, mod of 1 is 1, तो -2 के यहाँ पे आया 1, -3 के यहाँ पे आया 0, और -4 डालो तो -4 डालो तो क्या होता है, x equals to -4 डालो तो -4 plus 3, -4 plus 3 is how much, -1, and mod of -1 is 1, right, तो -4 पे आ रहा है वो 1 again, ऐसे 2 again, so now this curve became, so ये है this, so what happened is your 0 point here when you added it outside सिर्फ उसी एक्सिस पे ऊपर नीचे गया, वो सिर्फ ऊपर नीचे गया, यहाँ पे वो ऊपर नीचे नहीं गया, वो साइडवेज गया, वो साइडवेज गया। जो तुम्हारा बेस ग्राफ है, हमेशा हैव अ लुक एट दिस बेस ग्राफ, ठीक है। अगर तुम ये बेस ग्राफ देखो तो उससे तुम्हें रियलाइज होगा कि जब तुमने बाहर से प्लस किया या तुमने बाहर से माइनस किया तो वो उसी एक्सिस पे वो ग्राफ ऊपर नीचे गया सिर्फ, राइट, ये ऊपर गया माइनस पे नीचे आया, राइट, बट द मोमेंट यू डिड +3 इनसाइड द ग्राफ योर 0 शिफ्टेड, है ना, ये 0 तुम्हारा आया यहाँ पे। और वैसे ही आई डोंट थिंक इट विल बी अ सरप्राइज फॉर यू टू नो कि अगर हमने -3 किया तो इट विल शिफ्ट हियर। Fair? Do you see patterns of how it happens? Yes, or any doubts? Yes, Rene, Nitya, है ना। तो जब भी you will end up feeling like this कि ग्राफ्स का शिफ्टिंग वो मांग रहे हैं, या दे आर टेलिंग यू कि if the graph is shifted this and that what will happen, वैसे ही अगर let me just invent another color, this color, but अगर मैं f of x equals to 2x कर दूं तो if I do 2x then what happens, when x is 0 y is also 0, when x is 1 y is 2, x is 2 it is 4, right, when x is -1 so this is -2, when x is -2 is -2 to the -4 मतलब 4, so basically your graph is just becoming more acute। अब तक ऐसा v स्प्रेड था, अभी v ऐसे acute हो गया, क्यों, बिकॉज तूने 2x कर दिया भाई, तो 2x कर दिया मतलब x जितने रेट से बढ़ रहा है y is increasing 2 times of that, y is increasing 2 times of that, so every time your x is going from 1 to 2, this is actually going from 2 to 4, bigger jump, 2 units का jump, that is why you will have x increasing इतना ही but y increasing इतना ज्यादा, and that's why it will be a steeper curve, है ना, it is a steeper curve।